Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe. Every Sunday we get with our brothers and sisters across because our Indian diaspora, people those who have gone abroad, they bring so much of pride, so much of value, so much of reservoir of their wisdom and their intellectual capital to all of us every Sunday. So, ladies and gentlemen, yet another Sunday evening, as far as India is concerned, it's early morning in America and Canada. I've got both the dignitaries right over there. We have got Sri Surya, Vijay, Sastri, Kotamarti ji, who is a financial expert joining us all the way from Canada. Today's theme is very interesting. We're going to talk about service industry. We have also got Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji from United States, our advisor for the chamber. I would request initially Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji to say a few words from his side with his prayer. And thereafter, I'll show you small, short, crisp presentation. And then we go to Mr. Surya Vijay Shastri Kotamarti ji. Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji, kindly unmute your mic, please.
Namaste to Gulshan ji. Namaste, Shastri Garu.
Namaste, sir.
Yeah. Namaste. So the North American team for ICICI is kind of there. So we got so anyway, Vagarta Vivasam Prokta Vagarta Pratipatti Jagatav Pitra Vande Parvati Parmeshwar. So this is good. We are talking of services, and most developed economies, when they go into the higher stage of development, the biggest indicator is that relative to manufacturing, services becomes an integral part of the economy in terms of their GDP contribution. So North America, both the US and Canada are definitely high on service industry. And, just look at the profile of NRIs who are working in the US. Some people work for manufacturing companies and, likes of that, but most people are going for IT consulting. They're going for, Sastri Garu is basically a CPA, which is a financial service. I'm teaching myself, in the education sector, and, I teach services for a living. So we are all service professionals. And so that extent, I think it's important to understand the evolution of service industry in the Northern American context. I mean, there's a lot of literature, there's a lot of research that has happened. But when you talk of North America, much of the work seems to come from America. But there is also Canada, which is probably equally, big in size, if not in population density, but at least in terms of size, and it poses its own unique challenges. So, for today, I really want to understand how the Canadians operate, because it's always fascinating. The only thing when I think of Canada is cold and snow and maple leaf. And I've always wanted to visit Canada. I've seen it from not too far, actually. When you visit Niagara Falls, the ship takes you can go on a cruise kind of a thing, and they say this is Canada, this is America. So that's about close I got there, but maybe we'll visit Canada one day. Not now, it's pretty cold. I don't know, Shastri ji seems to be okay cold-wise. But anyway, so with that, let's move on. I mean, Gulshan ji, I don't know if you had anything else for me to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Vivek.
I'm like that your intro character that will come in the movie. 2 minutes shuru karke nikal jata hai. The hero of the day is Shastri ji. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Professor Vivek Shankar. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, because more the merrier, and more we have the brothers and sisters across the globe. It's always good. Now, let's move on. When we talk about 19th century, it was agriculture. 20th century, it was industrial sector. 21st century, it's a services sector. Most of the economies which is doing extremely well world over, it's a services sector. February 2018, we had worked very closely with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. And at that point of time, 12 champion sectors were identified by Government of India as far as services components are concerned. Now, I do not want to keep you deprived of Canada. Let's move to Canada. Let's enjoy the chilly weather. Let's enjoy the beauty and warmth and happiness with our brothers across Canada. And of course, United States is also with us. So Canada service industry, when we talk about in detail, our today's distinguished guest, Kotamarti ji will talk about. But let's talk something very interesting. Today is the World Children Day 2022, and inclusion for every child is the theme. And United Nations declared November 20th because November 20th was chosen as it's a date in 1959 when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Right of the Child. It's also the date in 1989 when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Convention of the Rights of the Child. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very, very important day. So our blessings to all the children, those are there world over. Our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, is a link between India, non-resident Indian, and the leading corporate. And from time to time, we keep giving lots of papers and our roadmaps, our strategies, our innovations, our research to government, depending on what is needed in the services sector to move ahead. And we are proud that our brothers, sisters, and those are abroad, they have done about 1,600 webinars with us during the pandemic, right from 25th of March, non-stop. So welcome to Canada, the country where from Mr. Kotamarti ji is joining. And when I talk about service industry, I get the fragrance of the meals, beautiful hotels, restaurants, fast food, and of course, the coffee shops and other areas. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take care of our health as well. That is something very important. So your career into the medical profession, that's also part of service industry because it is for the economy also, it's for the growth also. Transportation services, when we talk about whether you travel by sea, you travel by air, you travel by road, you travel by rail, these are all called services sector. And then of course, recently, if you have seen in India, there is a proper document and there's a detailed research which has been carried out, logistics. Because if the logistics are done properly, your entire business moves very fast and very quick. And we have to learn quite a bit from Singapore also, how the ship comes, how it gets reloaded without any weight, it goes back. And of course, from many other countries as well. So similar way, logistics is also a services. Now in industries also, you need a services component that's very important. And next to the heart of our Kotamarti ji, because he comes from the financial sector, whether banking services or financial services or insurance services or security and the bonds and investments and other financial services, whatever is needed. So at present, our chamber is working in the direction to develop the strategy for the services exports, because services exports has to take pride and proud because India has got a huge demographic advantage at this point of time. And when you have an advantage, it is better to strike the iron when it is hot. We got to develop our teachers. World over they can go, the capacity building of the teacher, because they shape and they develop the universe. So ladies and gentlemen, our chamber is working presently in the direction how to develop teachers, how to equip teachers, how to regenerate and repackage the services for the teachers so that they can go world over and they can be the part of universe, because population is shrinking in certain countries. And whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together to give our warm welcome this morning in Canada to Surya Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji, who is joining us all the way. And imagine he is utilizing all the services. He is traveling, so he is utilizing infrastructure services, road transportation services. He is traveling in an automobile, whatever car he is traveling in, that car has to be maintained very well. That's also a services component. Wherever he is going to park his car, that is also a services which has to be provided. And whatsoever shopping he does in the retail mall, there also is the services. So let's come to the arena of the services sector of Canada. Let's get inside and get the insight from him, what all is going on. I, along with Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan from USA. From our chamber, we extend a very hearty welcome to Surya Vijay Sastri, Kotamarti ji, and let's go ahead.
Namaskar, Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, and thanks for your kind words, and special thanks to Dr. Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji, who is, has praised or given some very kind words for me. But but there are certain very good things which he has said, and we have to understand that Canada is big in size and small in population, and US is big in population and small in size, but economically Canada is small in size and US is big in size, but they go hand in hand. That is the best part of it. The US and Canada is war, and of course Mexico, all these three comprise the North America. So in North America, there's two strong, and of course the Mexico, which is also contributes a lot to the service industry by the human capital that they give to the Americans as well as the Canadians, more so Americans, are a big part of this. So these three countries together are a very strong continent. North America is a very, very big economy in the world. Of course, South America is also there, putting together the continent. I'm talking about North America because right now, myself and Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji are from Canada and America. Now, starting with the service industry, I would like to say that this topic, Sharma ji, is such a big topic that we should be tackling each one of them industry by industry. And today I will try and touch certain industries, and let's see how many we can cover. And we will continue this discussion because in a brief description, I will first state the various service industries which you already have highlighted, like the financial sector, where I as a chartered accountant come, and as a CPA in public practice, there are many CPAs across Canada and many CPAs across America who are serving the accounting and financial industry. But in addition to the CPAs, then there is a financial sector itself where we have the financial advisors, and these financial advisors are between the economics and the CPAs, and they have their specialization in certain areas. And why I'm highlighting that is because that is another service industry where there is a huge demand, and many of our fellow South Asian people have established themselves. So that is one service industry where many of our own people coming from India can also look forward. So the CPA, the accounting profession, is very huge, like any other country. And that is one industry which doesn't get affected with the variations in the economy, like boom, depression, or or at the static level. At every level, you will need a CPA and you will need the accounting services. So people who are in India, who are in the accounting services, or they are CPAs, or they are company secretaries, or they are cost accountants, because there are three different sectors in India who are designated professionals. So all these three areas, they are very good at accounting. They know, and they have their specializations in the company secretary area and in the cost accounting area. But then they also are a part of the total CPA industry, because in Canada we only call chartered professional accountants. So we are looking forward for people who want to come to Canada from India. This is a very big industry, and the only thing, whoever is coming here, I would because I'm telling this out of my personal experience, because I have established myself as a CPA in Canada after coming from Kenya. and having a CPA designation, FCA designation from India and a FCPA designation from Kenya, when I came to Canada, I had to upgrade myself by learning and getting a designation which is local. And I got my US CPA, and the Canadian CGA at that time, and which was merged with the CPAs, and then people get the confidence in you. You may have your designations from other parts of the world, but when you come to the country and you add certain designations, not necessarily the professional designations, even if you are a chartered accountant or a cost accountant or a company secretary from India, and you come and you do some local diploma also in a college, that's fine. That is only to show that you have some local education required for you to work here. So that is one service industry which is huge, Sharmaji, and that is one profession which never will go in the depression or in boom. It is always at, I would call, it is constant and it is continuous, and people are required in that industry. In the financial sector,
wonderful.
Yeah, in the financial sector, we also have financial advisors. So banks need them.
You're traveling. We have lost your voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please go ahead.
Are you not able to hear me?
Yeah, now it's okay. Now it's okay. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sometimes the data, might be a problem. But what I'm saying is, just like the accounting sector, as I said, the financial advisor sector is another big sector, because they are financial advisors who are in banks, and they are also financial advisors to individuals who have to save their money and have their wealth properly stored. And there are various tools which the government allows them to invest in. And these are the professionals who will help you in saving your money in the right products, and make sure that your money that you're saving grows well. So that is another industry which is in the service industry. Today I will talk specifically about the financial sector, because there are so many in that. And time permits, I will also be going to the healthcare sector, which you have highlighted upon, Sharmaji, because there's a huge demand for them also. But
Kotamarti ji, I'll take your initial advice. That was very important for me, that there are different components and segments of service industry, and it would be much better to take them one by one and get into details. Would you be kind enough to allow me to take some questions with you, because some people have posted?
Certainly, no problem. And as I mentioned to you, this will be a discussion which will be a very long discussion over weeks to come.
Yes,
so
I've understood.
No problem.
I've understood, because you have given me a very good point that there are different services segments. Why not we should take them for Canada one by one? Today we focus on financial services. Next week we focus on wellness and health sector. Then we can take on tourism, hospitality and aviation sector. Then we can take education sector, because that's also services. And then, of course, we can take other segments, like we have identified 12 champion sectors. Please go ahead.
I would just like to add something more there,
please,
Sharma, that there is a very, very big demand for the semi-skilled sector in Canada. And I will speak about the financial sector after I just say this, because it is very important that people who want to migrate to come to Canada and want to see how the service industry is prospective in this country, I can tell to all those people who are actually having the blessing of the NSDC in India, the National Skill Development Corporation, which is encouraging the semi-skilled people to get their education, and they support them to get the education. Let all those people who are in the semi-skilled sector, who are actually getting their this thing, they will not only be a great asset to India, but they are also required abroad in Canada as well as in America. And these are plumbers, electricians, cooks. You just name them. I will be speaking about them in each industry, But right now, because we have started about the service industry, I'm just trying to highlight that, and then I'll take your questions, because I didn't want to lose that thread. And whoever is on the call right now, whoever is watching this program or will watch the program later, will know that that is one very big sector for which there is demand, and you don't need to have only all those designated sectors from which you can come. That's what I wanted to add. And sorry, I just wanted to add that so that people listening will know. Now I'm looking forward for the questions that you wanted.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I got to get a clarification for myself. When you say semi-skilled sector, because when we are taking construction industry as a services, because when the construction is going on, there is a mason also, there are laborers also, there is a carpenter also, there is an electrician also, there is a plumber also, there is an AC fitting guy also, and all other ancillary services which are required in the construction. So what do you term as a semi-skilled?
Okay. See, the designated people, like the professional chartered accountants, doctors, the lawyers, these are skilled because they have got their designation. And they are still required. It's not, that's why I'm saying we should not be, and it does not degenerate or degrade anyone. You know, the dignity of labor is there in North America and everywhere in the world, and we should respect that. And we cannot say that we will be able to do everything on our own. And it is not that because they are called semi-skilled, they are not required. It is not like that. I'm just trying to say that is how the definition is. And because skilled workers are, there is a category under which you will be able to come, and probably in the immigration, these might be under the skilled category. I'm just saying that those who are in those areas and who are actually being supported by the NSDC in India, they please do take the support of the NSDC, make sure that they get the good knowledge from India. Still, of course, you know, the experience in India is incredible, and it's infinite. So, you know, the experience together with the education is what always people look for. And that's why I'm highlighting that. And the difference is only that, Sharmaji, it's not skilled and semi-skilled means that.
I'm sorry, I'll take only one question. Thank you very much for giving that valuable input, because time paucity is with you and you are traveling. In spite of that, you are with us. How's the weather? First of all, give the services of the weather condition.
Weather is again incredible today. You know, it has been snowing since last night. There's huge lot of snow on the road. When I was driving,
what is the temperature? What is the temperature in Toronto?
Right now it is 0 degrees, feels like -5, but there is snow on the ground, and it is snowing. It is continuously snowing. And I have driven in the snow while coming to the place where I have, along with my wife. And the snow, there is snow today, and we are right now experiencing the snow, but it's a beautiful weather.
Wonderful.
We enjoy the snow here in Canada.
Okay, thank you. Our greetings and our regards and gratitudes to ma'am also to give you a valuable time with us. Thank you. And one of the question I'll just take on, what is the salary band in Canada for the Indians? Those have got approximately 15 plus years of experience, and they have done MBA. They are interested into marketing and management. So what do you feel, what kind of an opening could be there for them?
I would just say that, you know, the first thing that anyone who comes to Canada has to get entry into the industry. They have to remember that they have to enter the industry, even if it means at the entry level. It means nothing if you start even at the entry level. I'll give my own example. I am a chartered accountant, and by the time I came to Canada, I had my designations from 2 countries, and I had more than 20 years of experience. And in spite of that, I used to work 9 hours as financial analyst in a company. And I used to have 4 finance managers in Canada and in Kenya, and 3 production managers and 3 marketing. There's so many people who used to work under me. About 400 people were working when I was working as CEO of a tile manufacturing company in Kenya. But when I came here, I started as financial analyst in a multinational organization. I was fortunate that I got that, and I never lost my sight by saying that I'm joining here as a financial analyst. I am a CPA and from CA from India, which is very big. But when I went to validate my designation, they said, look, your designation according to us is only at the level of BCom and MCom. The CA degree is the same thing. Unless you have something, you have to go through certain papers, write certain papers, and then only you will be able to get your local designation, which I did. I used to study 9 hours a day and work 9 hours a day. And the reason I'm telling all this is because in 18 hours a day, first year I finished my US CPA, second year I finished my Canadian CPA, and all this I did just in order to not lose my sight that I'm working as a financial analyst, but my goal was to establish myself as a CPA. And after I got my designations and after another few months, I resigned. I started my practice with not knowing anybody in Canada with 0 clients. So the reason I'm saying this is just to highlight that you have to upgrade yourself with the local designations. Be prepared for it. Do not think that I have 15 years of experience as an MBA in India, or as I have 15 years as an IT consultant in the world. No, yes, you have. I'll tell you one thing: experience will never go anywhere, and that was always my belief. And that added to my experience when I got the local designations, because then people see me as a person with 4 designations and 20 years of experience, and they no longer look at me as a person having 2 designations which are not recognized in this part of the world. So
Okay.
that is what they have done.
Great.
I hope I have answered. The only thing
Yes.
I will not answer about I will not be able to answer about the money part of it, because, again, that varies with you. So make a humble beginning is my advice.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well said. Well said. Tempted to take on one more question, quick question.
Sure.
If somebody, Mr. Mohit Chaudhary has got a question. If somebody has got a company in India related to services sector for the 15 plus years in India, how difficult and how easy it is for them to open a sister concern in Canada?
Okay, that's a very good question, Mr. Chaudhary. And I would encourage many people who are in India in the service industry, and they can still do business with Canada, not necessarily coming over and migrating to Canada. Because if you have a company in India and you are managing and making some good money there, then what you should do is you can consult me, and I will definitely assist you. But I will tell you that there is a process whereby you can form a Canadian corporation, and then you can have 100% shareholding in that company, and all that you will need is a local director from that corporation who is a resident of Canada or a citizen of Canada, and you can still continue doing the business in Canada. So you don't have to come to Canada in order to. If you are in business in India doing very well, you can do, and it doesn't matter in which sector.
Would it be a sister concern of the already registered company in India, or would it be a separate entity?
It can be 100% subsidiary of the Indian company, in which the Indian company can hold the money here, but there are certain rules relating to world income, and that part will obviously come into picture, and they will have to consider there. That's why this is a bit complicated, and I'm saying that it is possible, but how the structure will be, how you can do it, is something which you need a professional And but certainly it is possible. It is not very difficult. It's not very expensive. It's not very time consuming, but it can be done. And people who are already in that various sectors in India should explore this possibility and speak to ICCI, CSI, and through them, we are always here to assist anyone coming here. And I am fortunately a CPA from the US also, so I should be able to at least say what they can do, whether it is in the United States or in Canada. And I have my great support from Professor Vivek, Shankar, Natarajan ji. At any point, if I have anything, I can always talk to him also.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. The Golden Triangle, 3 people, your regular participants on the YouTube, Julie Subba ma'am, Mamta Chauhan, and Sakshi. They are telling great enthusiasm, good points, amazing webinar, helpful session. And thank you very much for the information, Mr. Kotamarti, sir. That is from Mr. Mohit Chaudhary. Thank you.
My personal thanks to all these people, and I'm grateful that you are on the call, and I would like you to, be benefited by the all the hard work and the time provided by ICSI, which is, according to me, a way to gain the knowledge, and knowledge is wealth. So kindly know that the biggest knowledge, the biggest asset that we have in this world is knowledge. And so let us together through ICSI work and get the knowledge that is required. And knowledge is only valuable when it is shared. And I am more than happy to share it.
Wow, that's great. Pyar baante chalo, Kishore Kumar song. Yes, pyar baante chalo, knowledge baante chalo, knowledge baante chalo. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's Surya Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji from Canada, all the way from Ontario, Toronto. And of course, Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji also joined us for a short, crisp. And with that, we end today's session. Look forward meeting you with yet another services component from Canada and America next week at